Kasim. Well, questions have been raised around whether fasting football players' performances could be affected. Opinions differ on the subject. And joining us now from our Cape Town studios to give us her take is dietitian and sports nutrition expert Annelie Smith. Annelie, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. Well, we heard the Imam there saying, well, it is not really obligatory and they know that players might have to hydrate themselves. Now, fasting during the summer is already a difficult task, and despite the athletes being in peak physical condition, the temperatures in Brazil have really are going to make it harder for any players like the Algerians who are facing Germany today to really adhere to the fasting.
Yes, good morning. You are absolutely right. So, like yesterday, for instance, there were these really high temperatures when the Netherlands were playing Mexico, and the Netherlands team actually say that sometimes they lose up to 4 liters of fluid during these games. So you can imagine, even if you fluid load in the morning or try to drink as much as night, if once you start playing, you are going to start losing fluid. And so that would be probably the most important thing to look at, because once you start losing fluid, your body starts dehydrating, and even just a 2% loss of body fluid has been shown to decrease performance. You can't think so well anymore, so you don't concentrate, so you're more prone to injuries, and of course then it also affects your game.
Yeah, well, is it possible? I mean, in some of the sporting codes, like we've seen Hashim Hamla in cricket, he's been fasting and stuff, and some research by FIFA apparently says the performance of the team is not really affected by fasting.
Yes, I've looked at those studies, so there's quite a lot of conflicting evidence, and it really depends on the type of game, the conditions, when it is played. Some studies actually say they're not sure if it's because of the food intake, or maybe they're training less because their schedule is impacted by the fast, but there are some controversy about does it actually affect them. Of course, these players are used to it. They're used to playing games during the fast, and their bodies can be trained to, for instance, use fat during the game, so your body will adapt. We call it fat adaptation, so they can use fat for energy. But when it comes to sprinting and having to run really around at a fast pace, you do need carbohydrate. So that can be taken in when they have their meals at night, to take some more specific meals at night and in the morning, so they can take slow release carbohydrates in the morning. It also helps the body store some fluid. Your body stores fluid when you're taking carbohydrates, so that they can prepare for the games when they are eating in the morning and in the evening.
So hopefully the Algerian team, for instance, who are facing Germany today, would have made sure that this morning, ahead of that crucial round 16 game, they have taken the right kind of carbs, and that can help them retain the water, or retain liquids a little bit better during the day. Because I mean, it's really a tough game for them.
It's a tough game, and it's going to be very hot. And by the time they play, they already would have had used up a little bit of those carbohydrates. But the main thing definitely would be fluids. So we normally tell them take an isotonic fluid. So the isotonic fluids are ones that's best absorbed by the body, and it puts also those salts and electrolytes in the body that also gets lost through sweat. So that's going to be really important, that they take the right fluids, the right foods, and that they are prepared for late in the day. Also, obviously, keeping quiet as much as possible during the day, not to lose too much fluid until they play.
Which is going to be very difficult. I mean, the nerves are there. The players want to be moving around, stretching themselves ahead of the game. Annelie Smith, thank you very much for that insight. That's Annelie Smith, who's a dietitian and a sports nutrition specialist. Now, coming
Know more. eNCA.com.